I have no idea how to start this in a way that isn't awkward, so here it goes. This is an announcement video for the soft reboot of Words Maybe. Over the last year and a half, I've not uploaded a whole lot. There are a number of reasons for this, but why don't I just say what this whole soft reboot is by answering a few questions? What will be the channel's focus? I will predominantly focus on games that allow for explicit narrative agency within them. From Mass Effect to Life is Strange to Pentiment and Planescape Torment, visual novels, and much more. But the choices of what I cover will not always be so obvious. When it comes to discussing these subjects, as authorship and especially agency are broad ideas that crop up in all sorts of games. Will this be the only type of games coverage I do? No, I still have plans to occasionally branch out. For example, I'd love to do a video on Final Fantasy 15 that doesn't have a ton to do with either subject. What about anime and manga? From time to time, they will still be a part of my work. I have a big project that has been slow cooking for nearly 2 years that covers a very specific slice of the yashikei genre. Why do this? Well, as you might have noticed, I've not published many videos in the last 17-ish months. I want to create a focus for the channel that will help my workflow and give the channel a better identity. Authorship and agency are two things I care deeply about, so the passion to discuss them will not fade. I have often had troubles with the video format because by the time I got halfway through editing a project, a lot of the fire that fueled my desire to discuss a topic had burnt out. I also accept that it's easier for channels with specific identities to be more reliably successful in terms of views and ad revenue. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to start making soulless analysis that will rake in the money. Firstly, I'm not sure I'd even be able to do that on a creative level, or with the frequency YouTube demands. Secondly, I'm still going to be doing the work I have always done, just evolving it as my interest and voice as a critic have done the same. I will simply be tapping into a subject I care about possibly more than any other subject in media that I suspect will have a fairly wide reach. I don't expect the channel to ever really be a main source of income, but I'd like to get it to a place where maybe it'll cover groceries or my phone bill for the month. If you want a better idea about the split in types of work I plan on doing and the frequency, I would wager it's going to be about 80-20. The 80 being focused on agency and authorship, and the 20 being other video game subjects, anime, manga, and maybe some other mediums. The rate will be less certain, so I wouldn't expect a video per month, but I'm hoping it's roughly one every 2 months on average. Some other housekeeping. I have been and will continue to write on my Medium blog, which is also Words Maybe. Sometimes it covers stuff that will never make it to this channel, such as my journey through playing a bunch of games in the same subgenre as Ace Combat that aren't Ace Combat. Or even discussing how the military-industrial complex is so firmly tied to the entertainment business that produces these games and movies such as Top Gun. And sometimes I just have thoughts about Star Wars because it's a franchise I care very much about, despite how inconsistent it is. But of course there is plenty of writing that will either make it to this channel in some form, such as the initial version of any of the big BioWare formula pieces I am working on, which actually serves a pretty good idea of at least one type of video you'll see here. If you're interested in that, go check out my piece titled Applying the BioWare Formula to Jade Empire, which is linked below. I will not be starting up my Patreon again, at least for the time being. I want to ensure I can keep a good creative workflow going before I start asking for money again. But if you really want ways of supporting me, sharing my work is always helpful, and consider following me on the usual places like Twitter and Blue Sky now, I guess, which are both Words Maybe. In the last several months, I have been getting the itch to make more videos back. As much as I would love to live in a world where written media analysis was as popular as all the forms of analysis that happen here on YouTube, we don't live in that world. As satisfying as writing blogs are for the ability to simply write and move on from a project, they lack feedback. YouTube can be a toxic mess, but I don't think I'll ever write anything that gets 10,000 views, definitely not 100,000, both of which have happened here on YouTube. Knowing that people are taking in and considering what I have to say and responding is a key part of why I write. That's probably true of the vast majority of people who get into this space. So that's about everything. There will be a video out tomorrow about Baldur's Gate 3 in authorship. It's already uploaded and will be out around 1 p.m. Eastern. As always, thank you for your interest in supporting my work. I hope it won't be another year until I get a proper video out. It should be in December. In fact, that was when I was planning to put out a video. But about 3 weeks ago, I got an email from YouTube saying my channel would be demonetized for inactivity if I didn't publish something within a month. So here we are.